credit score dropped 15 points and I'm so stressed out about it. Like, that's a text that I got from a client this week, and she's on her financial journey, so she's being more intentional with monitoring her metrics, including her credit score, which is great. But it's important to remember that, like, the ebbs and flows, like, they kind of happen, those fluctuations, right? So instead of, stressing out about, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm like triggered, I'm like financially ruined, right? Kind of talk back to that anxiety a little bit and be like, all right, let's zoom out for a second. Like, why could this fluctuation have happened? Like, perhaps you had a bigger expense month. Like me, for example, I just spent significant amount of money on flights for Mexico City. So that charge on my credit card is higher than it would normally be, aka my credit utilization ratio right now is higher than typical. So I can see a little bit of a dip in my credit score. Now, at the end of the day, am I going to pay it in full? So like, is it going to be fine? Yes. But you understand, you can kind of get the flow, right? Maybe you open a new line of credit. Maybe one of your account balances updated, et cetera, et cetera. Like, these changes, they don't necessarily mean that you're doing something wrong or that, there's a big issue that you have to fix. Like, at the end of the day, it's kind of part of the system. Like, what does matter, the big point here is that you are monitoring, that you understand, you keeping tabs on what's going on with your finances, right? And let's make sure then that we don't let potential small dips be the reason why you don't take healthy financial action. So for example, I had another client who's starting the home buying process, and I suggested that she talk to a lender and potentially get pre-qualified. And she was like, no, but I could end up, hurting my credit score. And it's like, okay, hold up. Usually with a pre-qual, they use a soft pool, so they won't affect your credit score. But let's say for a moment that it would, okay? At the end of the day, we want to understand what the lender would be looking at. So getting pre-qualified will let us see okay, this is the potential APR, these are the terms of the loan, this is más o menos what the monthly payment is going to be. That's going to be the data that we use to then run the numbers on what we may want to actually afford, right? What we want to pay for. And so that is the bigger deal than potentially dipping your credit score. You know what I mean? So let's make sure that we don't end up stepping over dollars to pick up pennies, that we're not so intense about what our credit score is, that we don't take opportunities to gather information in order to improve, to make a bigger financial impact for the healthy, in the long run.